and welcome to Retirement Revolution. My name is 𝗀𝗃𝗏𝗀𝗃, and I'm joined today by Randy Locklear, and Randy is the president and founder of Gulf Financial Group. Randy, a pleasure to see you today. How are you?
I'm fantastic. I'm ready to have some fun. So we're going to have a little different show today and focus on viewer questions and emails that we get during the week. And so if you have questions, call us today. You might get an answer right here on the show.
I love our casual format when we do something like this because it's so different, it's so non-scripted, it's just right off the cuff. So let me ask you a question. First and foremost, let's talk about the difference between retiring today and when our fathers or our grandfathers retired, Randy.
It's a totally different situation in terms of the landscape out there in the financial world and the economy than it was just a few years ago, certainly more than it was 20 or 30 years ago. So there are different approaches. And if you're still doing your retirement planning based on old information, the old way of doing things, we think you should call us here at Gulf Financial because we're going to be able to introduce new concepts to you that are going to allow you to create a better retirement plan than what you have now. Now, better we're going to define as a situation in which we're paying less fees, we're taking less risk, and we increase our opportunity for growth. And we're going to go beyond modern portfolio theories, just stocks and bonds, just mutual funds, which is what 95% of people have in their portfolios. So we're really excited to help educate people across the panhandle about the new way, the next generation way of retirement planning at Gulf Financial.
Fantastic, because one of the questions we have today from the viewers, Randy, talks about hidden fees. He would like to know, Randy, can you help me uncover hidden fees in my portfolio, and how do you do that?
Oh my gosh, you know, sometimes when I see fees, I look at a client portfolio and I look at their fee structure and I get disheartened because they don't know what they're paying in fees. And when we take a look at their portfolio, lift that hood up and look down into the nitty-gritty of the retirement plan, what we often find is that the big box shops and the banks are lining their pockets with fees while you are taking all of the risk. In a lot of cases, the bank or the big box shop is actually earning more on your retirement assets than you are.
Wow.
So hidden fees, what would those be, Cynthia? So let's say I have a traditional mutual fund portfolio at the bank or the big box shop. I'm generally paying what they call a wrap fee or an account management fee that goes directly to the advisor or the investment consultant. It might be 1% or 1.5%. And people think, oh, well, that's not a bad deal. That's my only fee. No, no, no. Let's look a little deeper. These mutual funds, these ETFs that make up the portfolio that you're invested in, they have fees that are associated with them as well. We talk about 12b-1 fees, expense ratios, marketing fees, underlying fees that are in the mutual funds that you don't see. They just come right out of your return. But our sophisticated programs are going to allow us to uncover to the penny exactly what your fees are. Prepare to be shocked.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, and these fees are really going to drag on your return over time. And if something that gets me a little riled up is when I look at a client portfolio and I know that they've been overpaying fees and taking a lot of risk, and that's the situation we want to help to correct.
Sure, because a lot of times, like we've talked about this before, if you don't know what those hidden fees are, they can be little termites in your portfolio.
They can, right?
Yeah. And
so a termite is going to eat away at the foundation of your house in the same way that hidden fees are going to eat away at the performance of your retirement assets. So even though it might not seem like a lot, 1%, 0.5%, even these small amounts, if we're overpaying in fees, it's going to really affect our long-term return and make a difference of hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars over time in your retirement portfolio. So we're going to design a program where we're going to use some products in the mix that are not going to have a fee. Okay? We blend non-fee, no risk assets into a portfolio. We're going to be able to lower the overall fee structure that is involved.
Sure.
Now, you know, as we retire, the older that we get, the traditional bank or the big box shop is going to say, buy more bonds. Well, I'm going to buy bonds in a mutual fund, and a bond has fees associated with it. The average return in a bond portfolio these days is a couple of percent. So tell me, how am I going to make money in a bond portfolio if I'm paying 2% in fees and my return is 2%? What does that add up to?
Yeah, exactly. Zero.
Okay. So we want to help clients get out of those situations where they're taking too much risk, and the banks and credit unions and the big box shops get rich while your assets are out there in the wind.
Thank you, Randy. This is a great question. Randy, I've heard you use the term fiduciary before on the show. Can you explain what that means?
Certainly. This is a key concept when we talked about some of the biggest mistakes that people make in retirement is they don't deal with a fiduciary, okay? This is somebody that is registered with the Securities and Exchange Commission as a registered investment advisor. They cannot charge commissions. They can only charge hourly rates, or they can charge fee-based asset management fees. Okay, so you're limited as a fiduciary into how that you can charge. We all heard of Bernie Madoff, right? Back in 08 and 09, who took billions of dollars of client monies and put it in his own pocket. Well, he was not a fiduciary, right? He was not required by law to act in the best interest of his clients, and therefore he could do whatever he wanted to with their money. In a fiduciary situation, we're not going to have that. We are at Gulf Financial fiduciaries, and so we're required by law to act in your best interest at all times. So if there's a choice between a high commission or a high rate of pay that might come out for the advisor, that's not the best thing for the client. We want to seek low fee, low risk solution for our clients.
Okay. Randy, this is a great question. They want to know, can you help me decide the proper age for me to take my Social Security?
Yes, we can. Okay. Now, what is going to be involved in that decision is what other income streams do I have? What is my asset mix? What other buckets of assets do I have out there that I can apply to my income situation in retirement? So many times, if we can create retirement streams early in retirement, let's say you can start Social Security at 62, but let's say you retire at 65 or 66. Sometimes it's wise to create an interim income stream, and we can use immediate annuities or fixed index annuities and let that Social Security age a little bit, because we're going to get 8% more return on our Social Security every year if we wait. And if we wait until the last day we can take it, which is at age 72, we're going to get a much, much higher payment. So if we can create income streams to fill the gap while we're waiting for Social Security to kick in, we're going to have much higher lifetime income than we would otherwise. So that's key to a proper plan for financial security.
Randy, thank you so much. This is the perfect time for us to open up the phone lines to the viewers at home. Do you agree?
I agree. It's our fun day, right? So we don't have a real topic, and we want people to call in and ask any question that you have. We'll be glad to answer it for you here.
I couldn't agree more. To the viewers at home, once again, the phone lines are now open today. That number is 833-403-4041. As Randy mentioned, we look forward to your viewer questions, so please keep those coming in today. What he's offering you is a complimentary consultation. We have 10 spots available today. If you have any questions about how to plan your perfect retirement, Randy can help guide you in the proper direction. So again, there's 10 spots open. Don't miss the opportunity to call in today. The number is 833-403-4041. When we come back, we have more viewer questions, and one of them could be yours. Stay tuned.
How confident are you in your current financial plan? Do you know with certainty how the recent market volatility will affect your future hopes and dreams? How much are you paying in taxes? And how much are you losing to unnecessary high fees? You didn't work to save this money so that you could spend your time worried in retirement. Now is the time to take charge of your finances so you can feel confident about your future. Call in during the next 30 minutes of today's show only to set up an absolutely complimentary, no obligation, full-blown financial review that will result in your own customized written plan. This is a $999 value that we're giving away complimentary to the first 10 people who respond. We'll start with a full-blown analysis of what you already have, by running a report to untangle how much you are currently paying in fees, how you're allocated for risk, and what it's costing to work with your current advisor. Next, we'll identify your goals. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? Where do you want to go, and who do you hope to go there with? Is your current financial plan set up to get you there without mishap? Let's design a roadmap to create a financial plan you can follow with confidence. Get the piece that so many people are missing from their retirement. Find out how having a written plan can make a difference to your retirement dreams. Call now to schedule your complimentary, no-obligation, full-blown financial review today.
Welcome back to the Retirement Revolution. My name is 𝗀𝗧𝗜𝗍𝗂, and I'm joined today by Randy Locklear. He is president and founder of 𝗀𝗃 Financial Group. Randy, the phones are going crazy today, and I think it's because, number one, they want to have the complimentary consultation with you, but they're also excited to leave behind some viewer questions. So we have quite a few to get through. Do you mind if I just jump right in?
Absolutely not. Like back in the days when we worked, right? We would have a casual Friday. I'm dressed casual today in my golf shirt. You might see me on the golf course if you play a little bit or get around the beach area down there. But today we want to have some fun. So pick up the phone, give us a call, pop us an email, and we'll answer your question right now.
Well, this is a fun day, and I so look forward to it. This is great. You have a caller. Her name is Jessica. She says, Randy, an IRA is being willed to me. If I inherit it before the age of 59 and a half, can I have it sent directly to my own IRA? What are the tax implications?
That's an interesting question. So many of this, I can tell you, my mother passed away not too long ago, and one of the things that she had was an IRA, and my brothers and I were the beneficiaries of that IRA. Okay, so those IRA funds were transferred over. Now, an IRA or a 401k, okay, if the owner passes away, there's always a beneficiary that's associated with that. You sign up for it when you open your IRA account. In most cases, the beneficiary on the IRA is the spouse. If you don't have a spouse, it's often the children. But when you pass away, it's not as simple as I'll take those IRA assets and roll them over into my plan. The federal tax laws are going to prevent you from doing that. What you have then is what's called an inherited IRA. It's going to be specifically designated as that type of IRA. Now, what's different about that IRA is the federal government is going to require you to begin distributions on that money immediately. In fact, you have 10 years to deplete the account completely. There are a couple of options in how you can take that money out over time. But because the government wants their tax revenue, right? The IRS never sleeps. They're going to want those taxes.
Of course.
And they're going to require you to distribute that money whether you want to or not. So if you are lucky enough to have an inherited IRA, it's very important to plan for the tax implications of that income coming out, because you're going to have to take it out just as if the person that passed away and left it to you was still alive, because the IRS, they want to get that tax revenue. So give us a call if you have an inherited IRA. It's very important to plan the distributions out of that carefully.
Okay, thank you so much. You have a great question here. It says, Randy, my name is Sam, and I'm wondering what kind of preventive steps can I take to reduce my health care costs?
Well, number one, Sam, let's stay healthy, okay? So we certainly want to eat right, exercise, and let's in our retirement have an active lifestyle. We find that people that do these kind of things are going to have less health problems as they go along. So the first thing is, let's don't get sick. If we can avoid it. Now, some of us are going to anyway. So we need to plan for those possible expenses down the road, especially the major expenses that would be involved with some kind of assisted living or long-term care situation in which the expenses can run really, really high. Heck, I mean, if you go to the emergency room, if you don't have insurance and you have a broken finger, you're probably going to get a $25,000 bill when you walk out of there.
Sure.
So health insurance costs are runaway. So it's really important to have a plan for that. A 10-day stay in the hospital can wipe out every dime of your retirement if you're not properly set up to be able to cover those expenses. That's one of the key things that we do here at 𝗀𝗃 Financial. We want to make sure that our clients are protected in those scenarios, so that if they do get sick, that they don't wipe out their retirement savings in order to cover the expenses related to that. And there are a lot of strategies about how to do that effectively. And if you'd like to find out more, give us a call. Let's have a consultation.
Okay, Randy, thank you so much. This is a great question. It says, why do some annuities seem to have a negative stereotype? Can you help me understand the differences, Randy?
Sure. There are basically 4 types of annuities. The one that gets the bad rap is called the variable deferred annuity, I'm going to agree with the critics out there that say this particular type of annuity is not a good idea for clients. Number one, the investments in a variable annuity are actually in the market, so they have exposure to market risk. Number two, the management fees and the mortality expenses and the income expenses on these annuities are very high, many times in the 5 to 8% range, which is really, really high for fees. So it doesn't make sense from a growth standpoint. It doesn't make sense from a risk standpoint. And certainly, and you know, fees are our enemy, right? So if
Absolutely.
I see fees, I'm going to go after them.
Absolutely.
Right. In a variable annuity, that's a situation in which we have the worst fee situation of all. And the only person that makes any money in a variable annuity is the maybe not so scrupulous agent that sold it to you in the first place. So we would say let's avoid those types of annuities and let's focus instead on annuities that have no fees, good opportunity for growth, and that can generate lifetime income streams for you.
Okay, excellent response. Thank you, Randy. This is a great question. It says, I have concern, Randy, about inflation. How concerned should I be? What are your thoughts?
Very interesting talking about inflation. You know, if we can remember that far back, I was alive then, back in the 70s, we had inflation rates that were extremely high, 12 or 13% increase in prices every year. A lot of times we saw this at the gas pump, you know, during that period of time. And I remember buying a house back in that period of time, and I know my interest rate on my 30-year loan was 11.75%. So when we have high inflation, we also have high interest rates. So borrowing cost will go up. Everything increases in the terms of times of high inflation. Currently, we're in a very low inflationary environment, have been since 2008. The Federal Reserve has intentionally been lowering or keeping interest rates low because it lowers the cost of money and is a good thing for the economy. It will not last, though. What the Federal Reserve always does, if they see that there's a hint of inflation about to creep in, they're going to raise that rate, take some of the money out of the flow of the economy so that they can bring inflation back down. We are about to dump another, $3 or $4 trillion worth of money into the economy. And what happens when we have a lot of money flying around in the air in the economy? Prices go up.
Of course.
So we should be very fearful of inflationary times, especially if we're in bond portfolios. They don't hold up well in high inflationary times. So if you can work with us, we'll help you find ways to keep ahead of the pace of inflation and help find ways to make sure that your portfolio can withstand even a scenario where we have really high inflation over a period of time.
Okay, thank you, Randy. And this is the perfect time for us to go ahead and reopen up the phone lines to the viewers at home. What do you think?
Yes, indeed. Give us a call.
To the viewers at home, the phone lines are once again now open. That number to call is 833-403-4041. When we started the show today, we had 10 complimentary consultations available. We are currently down to only 5 spots. So please don't miss the opportunity to call in today. That number is 833-403-4041. Keep the questions coming. This is all your show today. So when we come back from this very short commercial break, one of the next questions could be yours. Stay tuned.
As a good saver, you've been putting away money during your working years. Studies find that the biggest fear of retirees is running out of money. Market volatility isn't just the downward movement of stock prices, it's the size and frequency of change. The more dramatic the ups and downs, the higher the volatility. This can put savers who are newly retired or a few years away from being retired at greater risk. Today's generation of retirees is not receiving traditional pensions as our parents or grandparents did. Instead, we have retirement accounts such as 401ks or 403bs. These accounts typically expose your money to market risk. The last thing you want right before retirement is to lose a portion of the money you need for income. But how do you turn these accounts into a retirement income? Is it safe to keep all your retirement money sitting in the stock market? The last thing you want is to lose a portion of the money you need for income due to market loss. By working with a financial professional, you can learn how to turn a portion of your savings into an income stream for life and income for the life of your spouse if you're married. We all have moments in our lives when we wish we had taken action sooner. Don't let procrastination reign on your retirement parade. Act now before it's too late. Please call our office to set up your no-cost, no-obligation retirement income review today.
Welcome back to the Retirement Revolution. My name is 𝗀𝗧𝗏𝗂𝗃𝗏, and I'm joined today by Randy Locklear. He is president and founder of Gulf Financial Group. The phones are going crazy, Randy, for two reasons. Number one, they want the consultation with you, but they also have a lot of really good, valid questions. Let's jump right back in. Are you ready?
Absolutely.
This is a great question. Randy, what is a junk bond, and do I need one?
Yeah, that is a good question. You know, a junk bond doesn't sound too good, does it, right? Who wants to buy junk? But the other word for a junk bond is called a high yield bond. Now, does a high yield bond sound a little better than a junk bond?
That sounds better to me.
So what we're essentially dealing with is a high interest rate paying bond. But why are you paying me so much money in order to buy your not so great bond? That's because the underlying financials of the company that is offering the bond are not good. So we have credit risk. Credit risk is the risk of default. Could this company or municipality that offers the bond, could they run out of money and not be able to pay the interest on the bonds? Or worse yet, can they not even redeem your principal cost? Bonds generally trade at $1,000 a bond, right? So not only could I lose my interest, but I could lose my $1,000 that I bought with the bond.
Sure.
So anytime that we want higher rates, especially in the bond market, we have to accept lower credit score, for lack of a better word, right? So if you go down and you want to buy a car and you've got a low credit score, do you have to pay higher interest rate? Of course you do.
Absolutely.
Okay. Same thing works in the bond market. If I buy a high yield bond, what I'm really getting is a junk bond, because the company that's offering the bond might not be there to pay the interest or to pay your principal back.
Okay.
That's a great question.
Wow, that was a great question. I don't think we've had that one before. This is a great question too. How high are some of the mutual fund loads in percentage terms?
Well, they can be quite high. So generally what we see is that we have an advisor that's charging a wrap fee, 1 or 1.5%. Okay, the loads in the mutual fund. Now, most people don't do this. Know this. If mutual funds come in 3 types, A, B, C, just like the alphabet.
Okay.
A mutual fund, a share mutual fund, is going to carry it with a 5% commission upfront load. I see A shares in people's portfolios all the time, and they don't know that they took a 5% haircut before year one even started. So did you know that you paid 5% to buy that mutual fund? If you have an A share, you did, okay? And then there's called a B share that's back-loaded, so I'm going to pay similar type of commissions when I sell the funds at the end. And then the one in the middle that most people have, well, it's last, I guess, the C share. C share is a level load. That means that every year that I own that fund, I'm not only paying the advisor his 1%, but the C share also carries an additional 1% fee that's charged from the mutual company.
Okay.
So in addition to, so that's 2% right there, right?
Absolutely.
And then there are what are called marketing expenses, 12B1 fees, underlying expense ratios. So we can certainly see a mutual fund portfolio where total fees can range in that 3% range. That's a lot to pay for passive financial management.
Absolutely, Randy. Thank you so much. This is a great question too. Randy, I am 10 years away from retirement. What should I be doing today, 10 years away?
Well, the first thing you need to do is to make a plan, because a plan is going to uncover whether or not we have enough money or not to retire, okay? The 10 years, that's a good time to start, but I need to know now, 10 years before I retire, if my income streams are going to be sufficient that I'm not going to outlive my money during retirement. Because if I have 10 years to go, I can do a lot of things to make sure that doesn't happen to me. I can save more. I can increase the riskiness of my investments, try to earn more. I could delay my retirement. I can make sure that I'm dollar cost averaging into good strategies so I can build a bucket of assets. I can buy an income annuity now and let the automatic roll-ups create an income stream that I can turn on in the future. But it all begins with the plan.
Sure. That's
so let's start there, and we can help.
Absolutely. Most important thing is the plan. So question, this is a great one. It says, Randy, how important is it for me to be diversified?
Yes, we talk about this a lot. So diversification is key. What that means is that we have different asset classes that have different rates of return and different risk associated with them. A well-diversified portfolio, what we're going to do is be able to decrease the unsystematic risk, the risk associated with owning a particular security that might not do well. You know, if I have 100 stocks and one of them doesn't do well, I'm probably still going to be okay. Now, so that's a crucial part of making sure that I don't lose my money, is to be well diversified.
Sure, that makes sense. I think we have time for another question. Randy, what exactly is rebalancing a portfolio, and is it necessary?
Well, it is. So let's say that I have a portfolio that is 50% stock and 50% bonds. Okay. And over the course of the year, the stocks do really well and the bonds don't do so well. So by the end of the year, I've got a situation where my portfolio is more like 65% stock and now 35% bond. Well, that may have pushed me out of my risk tolerance area. Okay, now a greater percentage of my assets are in the market and at risk. So what rebalancing does, it's going to reset that equation back to the original 50% of each. Okay. Rebalancing is something that even the big box shops are going to do, the rebalancing part. Okay, we will want to do it quarterly, at least in our portfolios, where we're going to rebalance, get you back to the optimal portfolio design for your level of risk that you want to take in your portfolio. So the rebalancing is something that we do every quarter for all of our clients' portfolios. We recommend it highly to make sure that we're not taking too much risk.
Randy, about a minute and a half left of the show this week. What final words of advice do you want to give your viewers?
Well, I would like to encourage the viewers to come see us, come set an appointment, come visit us in our office. Only for this show are we doing that consultation at no cost. In many cases, if we develop a financial plan, and we bill for that, it can be $1,000, $1,200, $1,250. But if you're a viewer right now and you'd like to get a complimentary plan, that's a pretty good deal, right? You're going to get an extremely intricate developed plan, personally designed just for you, more than just a portfolio, something that's going to cover every financial aspect of your life. So we would encourage you to take advantage of the free offer, and only viewers from this show are going to be allowed to get a free consultation, and then you're going to know exactly where you stand. So come see us, and look forward to having you in the office soon.
Randy, thank you for another amazing show. To the viewers at home, most of all, thank you. Thank you for the questions, and thank you for watching. Again, the number is 833-403-4041. Be safe, be happy, be blessed. We'll see you back here again next week.